On today's show, Trae Young dealt to the Wizards. Good deal for them. We'll tell you why. And then buzzer beaters galore in the NBA. Game night right now.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
Bomb, 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 and welcome. You're Locked On NBA Game Night. My name is Nick Angstadt, host of the Locked On Mavericks podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being here every day or making Locked On NBA your first listen today. Joining me, as always, sort of, from Locked On Pacers, the bottom all the way to the top. What'd you see in the NBA tonight, Tony East?
I'm gutted, Nick, for LaMelo Ball, who hit what should have been a game winner with 1.6 seconds to go, and instead it's like the eighth thing that happened in the league tonight. Immediately outdone by the Raptors.
So much, like legitimately 3 or 4 buzzer beaters in the NBA tonight. We'll talk about all of them. Raptors get one, Magic kind of get one, Nets also almost got one, Rockets almost got one. We'll go through all those games. We'll also talk about all the other games that happened tonight that didn't have buzzer beaters and had some weird bad losses, like the Celtics going down to the Nuggets, losses like that. But we got to start right here, Tony, because not often do we get a trade that happens while a player is playing in a game, or in this case, sitting on the sidelines. It happened a couple years ago with Harrison Barnes sitting on the sidelines with the Mavericks and then him getting traded to the Kings. And it's happened a couple times. But Trae Young sitting on the sidelines at the beginning of the game, he's an Atlanta Hawk. By the end of the game, it's rumored that he is going to become a Washington Wizard. The Wizards were also playing tonight. And so Trae Young is no longer no longer an Atlanta Hawk. He becomes a Wizard. Let's hear from our guy, Brad Rowland, on what he thinks about this trade. While he's in the middle of the game, this trade goes down. Brad is still in the arena.
Probably speaking, it's kind of an underwhelming return for Trae Young in Hawksland. At the same time, there was buzz behind the scenes that the Hawks actually might have to give up capital to get off of Trae's contract. That did not happen. In the end, kind of maybe the penalty for sending Trae to Washington is taking back Corey Kispert, who has multiple years left on his contract. In the end, though, this is a weird ending to a really stellar tenure for the Hawks and Trae Young. In the defensive franchise, it's 2018, and really is on the Mount Rushmore, basically, of Atlanta Hawks. Since the team moved to Atlanta, led the team to conference finals, all those things. But in the meantime, the Hawks get kind of a reset out of this. Not a ton of future-facing value from this trade other than flexibility, but they do add a couple of players in the short term in McCollum and Kispert that can help the team win now while also kind of clearing the decks for the future as the Hawks are looking to add young talent and all that stuff.
And all that stuff, Brad Rowland there, right in the middle of the club. The Hawks, it is a weird one for them because he, like Brad said, he is part of the Mount Rushmore. He's one of the best Hawks of all time. And for them to get this package back, CJ McCollum and Corey Kispert's deal. By the way, Corey Kispert, some people think, like, man, he's part of a young core. He's going to turn 27 in a couple weeks. Like he is not a young core guy anymore. He's got a longer deal. And as Brad said, that may be a penalty to take him back for this trade. What did you make of this trade for the Hawks?
Yeah, it's certainly a sign of what the league is more than anything, right? Yeah. That the type of player Trae Young is, especially at the contract that he has, it's over. You can't have that kind of player on your team. And it's not that he's not good. Trae Young is still very good. I'm probably higher on him than most people are in general, but the small guard gets less and less valuable every year. Ever since John Morant said pigeon, everybody uses that term, but those guys get picked on in the playoffs. You can't have as many weak spots anymore. Outside of their one conference finals run, the Hawks have not amounted to much in the postseason. And this year, you hate to say it, but they've been better without him. They just have. Look at their record when he does and doesn't play. He's clearly talented. He can, by being a great distributor and guy with gravity, help a young team maybe more than a team like the Hawks. So I get why they value the flexibility more than him, even though it's very painful and a very that's the return kind of trade. And then they win. How funny that he didn't play and they won again.
And then you get the video of him walking out of the arena and waving to fans and stuff. And you're just like, man, this is such a weird, just a strange scene there in Atlanta. The thing about Trae Young is there are certain players that just have a ceiling, and his ceiling was 4-time NBA All-Star. He made the All-NBA team one year. Like you said, they made that conference finals. There is a path for you, but if you want to go all the way with a player like that, there just is a ceiling. I think we're going to hit a ceiling with some of these guys that can't shoot too, right? some of these like uber athletes that they can't shoot. We hit one with Ben Simmons. There's maybe some with some of these other guys, but there's just certain, like, if you have a certain limitation in the NBA, you just cannot get past it no matter how much you try and plow through it. Like, there's no game planning around it. There's no real finding a way to like cover it up or things like that. They had one of the best sets of like perimeter defenders, and it still didn't work for them. And so it's very interesting for the Hawks that they got this very small package back for him, but they didn't have to give up draft capital, which is what the other thing Brad Rowland said. The Wizards thought that they may get draft capital for him, but our Locked On Wizards guys were stoked that they got Trae Young because of what you said. He's going to set up all these young guys. He's going to kind of make things make sense for them. They've kind of had this weird, like, we've got all these guys that can handle the ball. We've got this Bub Carrington guy that can kind of set up, but not, like, still trying to figure out what he is in the NBA. Trae Young will come in there, average 10 assists a game, set them all up, put them all in position, be good for Alex Sarr, good for Trey Johnson, all those things. And I think this is a win for the Wizards.
Yeah, I do too. You get Trae Young for nothing, basically. I mean, really. CJ McCollum, barely a part of their future. They just got him because they traded away Jordan Poole because his contract was shorter. Corey Kispert is helpful. He shoots. He also can't guard anybody. Like, he's among the worst defenders in the NBA. So if you view Kispert's contract as bad, they traded a small bad contract for a big bad contract. And here's the thing.
That's shorter.
And shorter. Yeah. They would have had so much cap space in the summer, like $80 million. With the way the NBA is now, you like almost can't spend that much. It's like impossible to even do.
They would
right?
They would be the one team to go after like a restricted guy, because all those restricted range, like, they could maybe do that, but other than that.
So you fill some of that now, and it's like the downside risk is if Trey's a horrible fit, great. He opts in and you deal with it for 1 year. For this is all you give up. Like, it makes perfect sense to me. Even if it doesn't work, who cares, right? So I totally get it for them more so than the Hawks, even if they kind of maybe had to do it because the thing about Trae with the Hawks is, like, you already said it. You have to have a very specific group of players around him to function. And even then it doesn't work sometimes. And the Wizards don't care about that right now. They're bad. They're awful.
We would like our certain set of players to function is what they want. Like, can we get that? And, like, we don't care about the distance or the ceiling or whatever. We'd like a floor right now, both the salary cap floor that they're going to have to hit, and they're going to have to hit some kind of like threshold of confidence or competence, I guess they'd have to hit at some point. I just think this is going to be solid for them. And
I agree.
The thing that's crazy about this whole thing is everybody's talking about the tree of deals. You mentioned going from Jordan Poole to CJ McCollum, now to Trae Young. They basically went from Bradley Beal, the Locked On Wizards guy said it, he said the worst contract in NBA history at the time, to now Trae Young on his deal. Like, that seems like an upgrade to me.
And they got picks along the way every single time. Chris Paul, here's a few. Chris Paul going out, here's a few more. They made it work. If Trae Young's any good for them, what a string of transactions. Can we hear from our the Wizards played tonight, right? That's the tricky thing now. How do they keep their top 8 pick? What if Trae Young's too good for them?
Wizards did lose tonight, so they are
all right. Good for them.
The path to keeping it. Yeah, they are. The Wizards failing upwards. Is that what
they're playing kind of good?
That's true. They are playing kind of good, but they lose this one to the 76ers. Let's hear from our guy from Locked On Sixers, Mark Farzetta.
Time since Paul George joined the 76ers, each member of this big three scored 20 or more points in the same game as the 76ers roll past the Washington Wizards 131-110 Wednesday night. Tyrese Maxey had 22 points. PG himself dropped in 23, while Joel, Hans, and Embiid dropped in 28 points in just 25 minutes played. BJ Edgecombe struggled from the floor in this one, just 4 of 13 shooting for 13 points in total. Meanwhile, Trendon Watford and Kelly Oubre returned to the 76ers rotation. Oubre logging 20 minutes in his first game since November 4th. Watford logging just 5 minutes in his first game since November 25th. Also, the next time the Sixers face the Wizards, which will actually be April 1st, Wizards might look a little bit different. In case you missed the news, Trae Young has been traded from the Atlanta Hawks to the Washington Wizards in a deal centered around Young, CJ McCollum, and Corey Kispert. McCollum and Kispert headed to Atlanta.
News to me on that one.
I want a funny thing from this game. This is one of my not even new things that happens in the NBA that makes me laugh, is the surprise Corey Kispert injury management. He's out. Yeah, you think?
He warmed up. He was on the side. He was on the sidelines.
They posted a video of him detailing his pregame routine.
Last thing that's his legacy. He'll never be able to tell. Like, he'll never be able to tell his warm-up routine ever again with them. Oh, man. Coming up, buzzer beaters galore out there. The Thunder almost go down. How did that happen? The Brooklyn Nets almost took down the Magic. So many other things. We'll talk about that and more. Locked On NBA Game Night continues coming up next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night brought to you by Rocket Money. Let's be real. Managing your finances can feel overwhelming, like all these games tonight. There's all these things happening at once, everything going on. You're spending money here. You're trying to save money here. You've got this over here. You got student loans, you got all kinds of things you got to figure out. And that's where Rocket Money helps you. Puts it all into perspective, puts it all in one place. The personal finance app that helps you take control, finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I've used this. It lowered one of my bills, which was cool. So check it out. See what you can get and see how you can put all your finances in one spot and maximize your saving with Rocket Money. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Again, that's rocketmoney.com/lockedon to check all the different things you can set budgets, goals, get personalized insight, receive real-time alerts for large transactions, upcoming bills, low balances. You don't want to deal with any of those overdraft fees. Check out rocketmoney.com/lockedon. Also brought to you by BetterHelp, where you maybe have too much going on upstairs in your head. I've been in those situations where you're like, I just can't figure out what is happening, what is going on. How do I make sense of all this stuff happening? BetterHelp can help you. You're dealing with 2026. It's a new year. You're trying to chase a new you. You can figure that out through therapy and understand what's been holding you back by giving you an outside perspective on your emotions, motivations, and relationships. BetterHelp can be a good place to start. I've used BetterHelp as well. It's served over 5 million people, more than 30,000 different therapists that you can use. And if you match with one and you don't really vibe with them, you can change it right out of the gate, which is great. You can change it whenever you need to. That is something that's very helpful. Live sessions average 4.9 out of 5 rating across more than 1.7 million different client reviews. BetterHelp makes it easy to get matched online with a qualified therapist. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lockedonnba. betterhelp.com/NBA. BetterHelp, HELP.com/NBA. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On NBA Game Night. Being part of this show, we've got a daily show that covers your favorite team, Locked On Hawks, Locked On Wizards. Go listen to those shows. Great stuff from them. The Wizards guys were stoked to get Trae Young. They were so excited. Ben and Abdullah were just very excited. I'm interested to hear what Brad Rowland has to say about it. He's got insight. He confirmed the story as well. And so lots of good stuff on there. All right, we're going through all these games. The next one, Utah against the Oklahoma City Thunder, goes into overtime. Absolutely insane one where the Thunder pull it out. Chet Holmgren was really good in overtime. What did you see from, let's start with the Jazz. What did you see from the Jazz in this one?
They were up 8 with like 5 minutes to go. I mean, I thought we were about to be like, yo, the Thunder are 6-7 in their last 13, and their half-court offense continues to be like extremely mid. Recently, they can't make threes at all. They're getting crushed by these young Jazz guards, and then in the end, they're down 4 in the final minute. And look, J-Dub scores here, and then Shea scores there, and then Shea hits a shot at the buzzer to send it to overtime. Yeah, Chet was a beast in the overtime. He got a bunch of offensive rebounds, including one to seal it with a putback. But, like, they are not – look, the Jazz are playing kind of good recently, but, like, the Thunder are not playing very well at all. They were 7 for 38 from 3. They cannot make a 3 at all. Recently, they have the star power to beat the Jazz at home still, obviously, but – really strange they needed a heroic Shea shot to get out of regulation and then heroic Chet Holmgren to beat the Jazz at home. They're just not playing well at the moment.
It felt early on in the season when they were going on that run, everything was easy for them. Shea was missing all those, sitting for all those fourth quarters. And it just felt like, even especially defensively, you just go, man, it's so hard for anybody to defend. And defense looked easy for the Thunder. Now everything looks hard because I think it starts on them with the offense where you're like, it's just a slog for us to try and get buckets. Jalen Williams is just like pounding the paint, trying to figure out what to do. SGA is trying to get a call wherever he can, got 19 free throws in this game. And that still didn't make up enough scoring because this Jazz team, they score, man. You look at some of their box scores and you're just like, oh my gosh, 130, 140, 125. Like they just put up points.
Yeah, Walter Clayton and Keontae George just flip in shots all the time, and they're both very effective. That team's fun. Like, I don't know what it's going to be when they're good or who's going to be around still, but they have a lot of guys that are fun, man. They're spunky. Lauri Markkanen almost, he fits in the LaMelo Ball category tonight. I've been almost game winner, so close with a late tip, and Shea said, nah, not tonight, sir.
How many of those did we have? We had Lowry, we had the Tyree Easton one to talk about. We had like the Joman one where he hit so
three
many.
in one night. 1 in one night's crazy, and we get 3. We're spoiled.
Absolutely wild. Another one where we had an almost buzzer beater where the Magic get a win in overtime. Let's hear from our guy Philip Rossman-Reich on the Magic side.
Philip Rossman-Reich, the host of Locked On Magic, and the Orlando Magic are blessed by the backboard as Paolo Banchero hits a banked-in three-pointer at the buzzer to deliver the Magic a 104-103 victory over the Brooklyn Nets. And this game is just frankly how the Magic have been all season. They show these great moments of effort, and they show these great moments of being the team that we all think they can be. And then they go into this complete shell in the fourth quarter. The Magic led by as much as 18 in the second half. They looked like they're about to roll to a big win. And then they scored only 14 points in the fourth quarter. Then they gave up a game-tying three to Jaeger Joman at the end of the fourth quarter. Then they gave up another banked-in three to Jaeger Joman that gave the Nets a 1-point lead late in overtime. But in the end, the Magic have the star player, and Paolo Banchero has continued to play like a star over the course of the last 3 weeks. 30 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists, including a big find to Wendell Carter that gave the Magic a one-point lead late. And, of course, the banked-in game-winning three. The Orlando Magic are bailing themselves out. They're finding ways to win these games. They've had a lot of these buzzer-beating moments throughout the course of the year, and guess what? Every win counts the same. But Orlando still has a lot of work to do to make sure that these games aren't close, because good teams don't win close games. They avoid them. And the Magic just can't avoid close games right now.
Bars from Philip Rossman. Do you agree that good teams avoid close games?
100%. I dream of talking with my hands as well as Philip Rossman-Reich does. He just crushes it. This is not an encouraging win at all. I mean, beating the Nets is never that encouraging, especially when it takes an overtime buzzer beater. But especially when the last game before this, the Magic played the Wizards, Jamal Mosley benched the entire starting lineup because they gave no effort. You'd think they'd come out with some fire, and then they're down 18. I mean, they won. This game will be remembered as a win, but like not good vibes in the land of the Magic right now. Thank God. Also, for all the crap Paolo takes for his on-off numbers, when they need one bucket, that dude can deliver one freaking bucket better than just about anybody.
Give it to him. 30 points, 14 boards, 6 assists. He did have 9 turnovers in this game. But not great there. Also, shout out to Jaeger Joman. 18 points, 5 boards, 5 assists, only 2 turnovers. 5 of 8 from 3, 5 of 9 from the field goal. So he only took 1-2. Love that stat line. Love when a guy only takes 1-2 or 0-2s. It's like, I just know what I am. This is what I am at this point as a rookie. I'll branch out eventually, but I'm just jacking up these threes, and 5 of 8 worked for him. Oh, man. The Raptors got a game winner from Emmanuel Quickley. Let's hear from our guy Sean Woodley on that one.
Was in no way the prettiest Raptors win of the season, but it was by far the gutsiest. The Raptors take down the Hornets 97-96 on a game-winning at the buzzer three by Emmanuel Quickley, who had himself a pretty rough night. He was 2 of 10 from 3 before hitting that winner, and he had given up what seemed like it might be the game-winning drive and layup to LaMelo Ball just 1.6 seconds prior, and yet Quickley hits the big one at the end to pull out an absolute theft of a win for the Raptors, who trailed by as many as 13 in this game, and also had no Brandon Ingram for the last 2.5 quarters, and Scotty Barnes barely played in the fourth. He came back with just a couple minutes left, but he was getting a knee injury checked out, and yet without their 2 best players, the Raptors somehow pulled this one out with a combination of timely shot making by Quickley, really excellent defense, and RJ Barrett going ham. RJ Barrett, unbelievable in this game, was just not going to lose, sizing up mismatches. Poor Con Knipple. He's very good, but he is nowhere near strong enough to handle an RJ Barrett drive just yet. Barrett goes for 16 points on 7 of 10 shooting in the fourth quarter alone, finishes with 28 in total. He was outstanding in this game and continues to prove that he's just a vastly improved, more impactful basketball player than he's ever been. He's essential to the Raptors, and he is the reason why Emmanuel Quickley was in the position to hit that redemptive game winner at the end of this one. A nasty win for the Raptors, but a huge one. They're 23-15, and with all other teams in the Eastern Conference losing around them, they keep on looking all right for one of these top 4 seeds.
Another bad win for a team, barely over the Hornets, or just because they beat the Thunder the other night, it's a good win?
Yeah, man. Maybe the Hornets are good. No team that only scored 96 points can be considered to be playing well right now. It's my official stance on this game. Shout out to Emmanuel Quickley and LaMelo Ball. That was cool. And shout out to everyone who watched the game and got to hear Eric Collins go freaking crazy twice in a row, baby. That's what it's all about.
And a very strange one from Jack Armstrong on the Raptors side.
Oh,
did you hear that clip? That one's going around. I'll let you
he
guys
dragged
find
that good for a long time. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Yeah, go look up that one. That one's worth a look for sure. Last buzzer beater we got was Houston against Portland. The Portland Trailblazers get a win against the Rockets. Came down to the very end where Denny Avdija got a layup and one with 50 seconds left. That he missed the free throw. Portland got the offensive rebound. There's like 40 seconds left, and you're like, man, you can hold on to the ball a little bit. He goes straight in to try and get another foul and gets blocked. They're up by 4 at this point. Amen Thompson gets fouled, hits 1 of 2 from the free throw line, so it's a 3-point game. Caleb Love misses a 3, and then the Portland Trailblazers intentionally foul Kevin Durant up 3 with 6 seconds left. And Kevin Durant turns around and points at Tiago Splitter on the Blazers sideline and is like, why are you doing this? Just let it play out. And then at the very end, KD misses a shot. Tari Eason and gets a tip in that goes in, but his hand is still on it when the buzzer sounds.
Got to learn from Aaron Gordon on how to get that one through the net just a little bit.
Can't put your whole hand on it. Can't put your whole hand on it.
You got to just launch it as fast as you can. Also, look, fouling up 3, objectively, mathematically, the best strategy. I don't care about the soul of it. I hate it. But is it actually good against the Rockets, who are so good at offensive rebounds? I know they didn't have the guys for that all the time. Right now, they don't have
Şengün was out.
Şengün, right? But like, that's the team that I would be the most afraid of doing that against. But Kevin Durant made both, and they ended up winning anyway.
They get 40% of their own misses.
It's insane. It's insane.
That stat I keep going back to is like in 2021, only one team got over 30% of their own misses. And now they're getting 40%.
It's
what
crazy.
A wild thing. Coming up,
good for the Blazers.
The Denver Nuggets also missing their big man, Nikola Jokic, and they get a win against the Celtics. Is every loss made equal? We'll talk about that and more. Locked On NBA continues. Coming up next. Today's episode of Locked On NBA Game Night brought to you by FanDuel Fridays. Always feel different during basketball season. FanDuel is making them even better. Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. I know you. You're listening to this show. You want to hear about all the different games. You want to see all the different things happening at once. You probably got a bunch of different things happening all at once. You can do that with FanDuel, and the Happy Hour is the way to do it. Fridays from 6 to 7:30 Eastern Time to become appointment viewing with NBA Happy Hour. Open the FanDuel app during holidays or during Happy Hour. Always bring something new, bonuses, boosts, surprises, all kinds of things. Tony's Pacers 4-point underdog against the Hornets. Hornets, I guess good team, right? That's another one you can go check out. The NBA Finals odds have not changed, even though the Thunder have hit this tough stretch. Plus 105 to win the Finals. Nuggets plus 800 is the next team after that. Nuggets get a win. We'll talk about here. But go check out NBA Happy Hour before tip-off, 6 to 7:30 Eastern Time. Little basketball, little action, a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
Big chicken, baby.
I think a lot. I'm very smart. Take that for that.
Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up. Count it up.
It's Counted Up, where we count out the most interesting, fun things in the NBA. A couple more games to get through tonight. And interesting to me, the Denver Nuggets, without Jokic, without their stars, without a bunch of dudes finding ways to win games. They won the last one. Now they won this one against the Boston Celtics. And it's Boston Celtics, which means it's time for John Corrales bingo. Give me what you think John Corrales is going to say in the short.
Not enough heart and hustle. Not enough free throw line. Peyton Pritchard was good, though. Those are all coming for sure. Rebounding, pretty good, but not enough when you can't stop the threes from the Denver Nuggets. He's going to mention the Nuggets threes for sure.
Let's see if we hear a Corralesism in this one.
The winning streak is over thanks to some incredibly hot shooting by the Denver Nuggets and Jamal Murray just being incredible. The Nuggets on the end of a long road trip did not look like a team that would be tired or ready to give in. The team's traded runs all game long, and the Nuggets made their biggest run at the end of the fourth quarter. The Celtics had taken the lead, and then the Nuggets just were relentless. The three-point shooting was the major difference here. 20 of 44 for the Nuggets. The Celtics were 15 of 38. Too much for the Celtics to overcome. Jaylen Brown had a real bad fourth quarter. On national TV, a lot of discussion lately about his MVP potential, and this is going to be something that hurts him in that discussion. Turnovers, shots blocked. It felt like it was a Jaylen Brown is trying to do too much game. He's had those before. He will bounce back. It's not that huge of a problem. And he was good early, but then he started getting just forcing things, not making right reads, and it cost the Celtics. So try to get back at it on Friday against Toronto. More coming up on the Lockdown Celtics podcast.
Really good one for the Nuggets, though. Jamal Murray, 22 points, 17 assists, 8 boards. My question for you.
Count it up.
Just lock in the Jamal Murray All-Star berth?
Yes. Yeah, and I don't know how you feel about this or if you've gone through it, but I think the international thing kind of helps him. If you're above
Canadian.
That line of being 8th, it's easier, right? There's probably 9 guys competing for those spots. So even if he doesn't make it, he'd probably be like the top international replacement should there not be enough guys there. So I think he should make it on merit, but his odds of making it this year have also gone up. Man, he is just hooping. I mean, carrying a group like their most used lineup tonight was Murray, Brown, Watson, Gordon, and Zeke Naji. What? Zeke Naji playing kind of well like that. What a spirited win for the Nuggets. And yes, Jamal Murray. Get him finally in the All-Star game.
Absolutely. Let's get him and let's see him in there. The Lakers, tough loss for them. Luka Doncic goes off 38, 10, and 10. I've seen this game before. They lose. Let's hear from Andy Kamenetsky of Locked On Lakers.
Andy Kamenetsky co-hosts the Locked On Lakers podcast, and the Lakers lose 107-91 to the Spurs in San Antonio. Very, very shorthanded. LeBron James sat out this game, maintenance second end of a back-to-back. They're still without Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. Luka Doncic did his best to make a game of things. 38 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 steals. Herculean effort by 77, but just not enough scoring support. Jake LaRavia had 16 points. No other Laker had more than 10. They shot 23% from 3 as a team. They actually worked quite hard defensively. They got back in transition as well and as consistently as any game in recent memory, but ultimately just undermanned, overmatched. Keldon Johnson, 27 points off the bench. Absolutely carved them up. For more Lakers coverage, make sure you're watching Locked On Lakers on YouTube and listening wherever you get your podcasts.
We got another vintage Steph Curry night at the end of this Warriors versus Bucks game. Warriors get a win. Let's hear from our guy Chuck Walter from Locked On Warriors.
Don't be shocked if the Golden State Warriors go on a little bit of a run right about now. The Sacramento Kings are up next. They have 7 more home games in a row to go, and the homestand's off to a great start with a 7-point win over the Milwaukee Bucks. They weren't able to neutralize Giannis. He went for 34, but, it's not a pick your poison type situation. It's let Giannis go for his and just hope that you have enough offensive production to take him down. And the big reason why the Warriors had enough offensive production, they took a bunch of shots. 1, due to second chance points, tons of offensive rebounds. 2, they protected the basketball, something they don't do a ton of. Only 9 turnovers for Golden State. They shot it well from the floor. They shot it well from deep. Curry had 31, 22 for DeAnthony Melton. His coming out party as a Golden State Warrior. And then Jimmy Butler had 21. Warriors win 2 in a row. They're 20-18 on the season. I'll see you on Locked On Warriors.
If you're GM John Horst of the Milwaukee Bucks, what are you thinking about right now at midnight Central Time?
Like, this one hurts because you look, if you like offered the Bucks this box score, I always like to think about this.
Yeah.
You guys shoot 54%. You make 44% of your threes, just 12 turnovers. They'd be like, yeah, dude, let's go. We'll take it. And you lose, even with a good
6
fourth quarter.
Guys in double figures.
Yeah, right. Like they were down big a lot. Like, what does this say about your team? That a night that it didn't actually look good. I didn't catch this whole game, but I caught quite a bit of it. A night that looks good on paper and has an awesome Giannis performance, and you're down double digits like a lot of the second half. Like, what are you doing? What is your team?
Yeah, I don't know what their team is. And I think that a lot of people were asking, what is the Warriors team too? So to lose to a team like that, you're like, all right, well, now we got double questions on what we've got going on. Speaking of questions about what's going on, the Grizzlies got a lot of questions about what's going on over there. Let's hear from our guy Joel Molinex of Locked On Grizzlies after they get a loss to the Phoenix Suns.
Fun as it was to beat the Spurs on Tuesday night, it was that unenjoyable to watch Dillon Brooks lead the Phoenix Suns to a victory on Memphis or against Memphis in FedEx Forum on Wednesday night, a 24-hour stretch that certainly had its highs and lows. I'm Locked On Grizzlies Joe Mullinax, and Pete Pranica, the Memphis Grizzlies play-by-play announcer, put it really well at the end of the broadcast. The last 24 hours for Memphis is life in the National Basketball Association. You have Cam Spencer being dominant at the end of the game against the Spurs, and then a more quiet evening against the Suns. You see the performance against San Antonio bringing up so much energy and so much need for intensity and effort that the Grizzlies, for all intents and purposes, laid an egg. Give the Phoenix Suns credit. They enforced and enabled that egg to be laid. Phoenix played well, the Grizzlies did not, and injuries certainly didn't help in that process.
What are we looking at with Dylan Brooks right now? I feel like he's just hit another level.
He somehow keeps getting better. The thing I love about Dylan Brooks is that every team he's on takes on his identity. And look at that, the Suns are doing it too.
Yeah, right.
And then he can go in and lead a team. Like, he never could do that with the Grizzlies as good as he was there. So it's fun to see this happen. I love when guys have revenge games. Grizzlies are very confusing.
This is one where if you offered this box score to the Suns, they'd probably be like, I don't know about the Devin Booker. 13 points. Oh, we only took 8 free throws. No, we had 16 turnovers. Oh.
Yeah, right. And they cruised, right? Like, they are tenacious, man. Their identity. They're not fun to play against, and that's always a positive thing to say about your team.
Which was the exact opposite of that team last year.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the culture that they had. Like Dylan Brooks, culture changer. Like if they gave out an award for that, he probably gets it this year. The Knicks get a win. They don't make the award?
We should make it one right now.
The Knicks get a win against the Clippers. Let's hear from Gavin Shaw about that one.
The New York Knicks bounced back from a season-high 4-game losing streak to defeat the red-hot Los Angeles Clippers 123-111. A bunch went right for New York, a bunch of stuff that was clicking for them early in the regular season that has not really been apparent late, including Karl Anthony Towns as a passer. Cat's playmaking is generally a good barometer for the overall health of the offense. He found OG Anunoby backdoor a couple of times, hit Mikal Bridges over the top for an and-one layup. In general, it felt like the Knicks' off-ball movement and Cat's insistence on finding them and paying that off was a really big key to this victory for the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson consistently drawing 2, sometimes even 3 to the basketball and being willing to get off the ball quickly. He looked explosive on the ball, got a couple of catch and shoot threes, letting the offense do the work for him when by and large it has been the opposite of late and he's had to carry. And Deuce McBride finally put back into the starting lineup by Mike Brown. We've all been calling for it for weeks. He was exceptional at the start of the second quarter where it looked like the Knicks might be struggling a little bit. He scores 11 points in the first 5 minutes of that period to keep the Knicks within striking distance. Plays pretty good defense on James Harden all night. Really strong collective effort for the Knicks to get a bounce back win.
Team that did not get a bounce back win, the Chicago Bulls, lose to the Pistons when the Pistons didn't have Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, and Tobias Harris. Like, just one of those ones where you have to look yourself in the mirror. I don't know what they do over there with Chicago, but if you're Chicago, you don't have Josh Giddey in this game, but you lose to this one. What are you saying to your team if you're Billy Donovan after this one?
Dude, what can you say? I mean, they lose this kind of game a bunch where they just kind of look pathetic and their defense can be okay, and it was in this game, but like, you don't need, they just have to find a way to be collectively threatening in a way that they can't without either of Kobe or Giddey available. And like, they have too much talent to be that unthreatening, right? Like they have to, they just don't. So if I'm him, I'm trying to say, like, guys, our identity has to be our thing. Play, space it out, get an open floor in space. They only took 34 threes. That's very low for the Bulls. Can I hijack this game, Nick, to say the Bulls are Kings East, and I would like to salute Matt George to close this out by talking about the Eastern Conference Kings. Hell of a run, Matt George.
Shout out to Matt George, Locked On Kings. Moving on. The show will continue, but man, an incredible run from him. One of the most unique talents we've ever had.
I will miss him.
We will. Kings coverage will be different, I guess. A Bulls show still going. Listen to Locked On Bulls with Pat and Hayes. Great stuff over there all the time. Listen to Locked On Pacers, Locked On Mavs. We got good stuff going on our shows all the time. And listen to Locked On NBA Daily with Hayes, Matt, and Wes. Thanks so much for listening to Locked On NBA Game Night.